gotta just let things take the time it has to take to get there. That's all you can really fucking do. I'm Dom Jackson, Day by Day Media, and this is the 7-Day Scoop Show, a weekly show where I document the process about my career and decisions that I'm making. If you're a venture trying to pursue, so I use my story, my adventures to help motivate you. So, I'm still in the saga of working, getting my own band, the Car Keys Express franchise. Currently living in St. Louis, Missouri, doing the training, in the process of getting my van. This past week was an interesting week, really showing the difference of like patience and level it takes to grow through each saga. This being initially being a 3-month program to being a looking more like a 6-ish, maybe 5-month program now for me currently. Through all the steps to get through each level. Currently, they have another guy out here who's flown out here to one of the other teams to train with us in our van. So we're kind of working on the next set of the system to figure out what to do to get people to grow faster and evolve. A lot of big learning insights. So one of the things that we did to progress this time was, obviously the goal was to have you lead and operate the van with your own team. But it's going to take steps. So you kind of go in from an entry level, just a rep, all the way to being like the owner itself and running the whole small business operation, for the franchise. What we've been doing, the next level of like education and training has been for us is me and the other gentleman and the leader of the actual, van, obviously. So what we did, the weekend is the busiest time because we work at retail stores. And this time we spent our time, the weekend was basically ran by us. So me and the other newer guy were out there running the van while the main person who owns the van was inside. So he helped us out if we needed anything. We were taking with all the workload, had to systemize everything, had to figure everything out, problem solve. Which was cool because, not too long ago, the concept of being alone in the van with no one else to help me out, or no one else to help me out with like a higher level of skill set than me, was very like daunting. But now it's like I'm up for the challenge. But with that, within this week, there was 2 moments that really stuck out that had a lot of other metaphors for life as a whole. There was one point where I had a key that I had to program. It was for a Dodge Charger. It didn't really matter too much, but with it, the main thing is just getting the one key to sync to the car, so it's done. You have a computer we plug it into. You do the thing, you do the action, and it syncs to the car. So the actual process is very simple. The reason that makes us a professional and actually makes the actual job a job and the gig is when that doesn't directly happen. When action A does not lead to action B and it does not lead to action C and then you're done, you have to figure out what problems are in action A to get to action B to get to actual C. And with that, there were 3 things that had to be solved for action A to get done. So I tried it the first time, it didn't work. The next time, I had to phone him for help because I didn't know how to solve this problem. But the one thing I had to first check if the actual computer inside of the fob was locked. So I had to use this device, check the coding on it, make sure it was locked or unlocked, and it was locked. So to unlock that. The next thing I had to do, I had to check and see if the battery signal was going out the right way. So I had to change the battery for that. That was 2. Then 3, there's like a little code in each one of them called the FCC ID. And I had to make sure the FCC ID matched the other one that was already working to make sure it was the same thing. And then I can do step B and step C. But even with that, I had to make sure the battery that I changed was also put in the right way so that it actually gave signal. Which, like, all things that, like, if you're in the space, it makes sense. But the amount of little steps it took in this one moment of things that, like, I knew enough of, but even if I knew enough of how to solve, 4 problems, if there's a 5th thing, you still can't get past block A to get to B to finish at C. And it really got me thinking, like, how many other places am I one problem away that I may not know? Now I had to call in the owner of the van, so he came over, a mentor, helped me out, helped me solve the problem. But it was interesting because everything I knew how to do was right, but still not enough to solve that thing to get to the next stages. So even if the actual programming of the key doesn't take too long, just plug it in, it's hit the button, start the car, connect 1, connect 2. Everything in that first spot to just get the A set up had a lot of problem solving to get done to get to the next level. So now, with that, it's just interesting going through this because now I see I have a new skill set of things I know how to do, know how to say, know how to operate. But with that, there's even nuance to that I don't even know. I don't know. And it just always reminds me when I'm really getting shown that there's more levels than you think. And watching someone who knows how to do better than me be better than me in it and teach me that next step, it's damn, how many other things do I know, but I don't know enough to get to that next level? And I didn't think there was no level to it. I thought I just couldn't solve the problem, but someone who knows how to solve that problem with more level and more thoughts and more understanding. That is a very big process of just a new level of cool. You got it, but you don't got it all the way, my guy. And that's okay. It's part of what learning, it's part of growing, it's part of what makes a professional. Next thing that I'm learning is team dynamics. Being with the other gentleman who's here, who's flown out here to train for his band setup, me and him working together. We both know how to do the job. We both know how to do the job to our levels. We have some we don't know how to work with each other. And then the whole entire systemization of the whole business working together and the actual teamwork that it takes to take people that both know what to do, but to make it synergistic is a whole different scenario. You can have people that are very good at a sport. You can have LeBron and Curry on the same team, but even if they're the best players, if they don't have the same chemistry or the same system to actually make them play well together, it's not going to be as good as people who are not as good working together at a better pace. And seeing that between what bottlenecks we came through working together, how not on the same page to certain things, certain communication not working. It's such a big part of playing on the same team and having communication. And it's really cool to see the lessons of what that takes. So I see how it's going to be for me and my own team going forward. Even my own life now, how do I communicate better? Make sure we're on the same objective all the way. That's really big. Another lesson I think is super important too, that's really been hitting me, is knowing when to say no. Being in the business that we're in, especially us being a vendor in a retail section where we only can operate during the hours of the store operations hours, and we can only operate with people that are in the stores, they need the service, you have to be a member of the actual store. So one of the big things that we have to do all the time that we're doing is constantly problem solving to see what is it worth it. And it's a lesson I keep getting over and over again, because if this service is $100, but you're spending 3 hours on it, and that's just an example, this is a long time. If the service that you're offering for this key cost $100, but it's taking 10 minutes when it should be taking 3 minutes, is it worth it? And at what point are you going to keep investing time and energy to solve it when you just say, hey, scrap it, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'll refund you the money, I'm going to go find something that's going to work a little better for me? And that's a decision-making process you got to be better at making, because it's just faster making decisions and faster understanding what you want and what's the end goal. So, one of the things I think the biggest mentality shifts that you really have, that I'm really understanding between coming from a rep, going to be an actual tech, going to be in the lead tech, going to be an actual owner, operator of the whole thing, is, like I said earlier, one, just the communication aspect of how the whole thing works together. Two, like I said earlier, one, the communication app. One, how not knowing one little thing can change the entire thing, even if you know how to do it. Two, communication, knowing how to communicate effectively and understanding what role each person is playing. Three, making faster decisions. So saying that, hey, at this point, even though someone paid for this and got here, this is not worth the time it's going to take to get done. We're going to give you back your money. We're going to go back to work. And there's a little level I feel sometimes of like, oh man, I didn't help this person out. But it's also business. Like, being able to be strategic and consistent with your decision making and having rules in place so that you already know what decisions to make regardless makes life so much more efficient, because you constantly have a system to keep your thoughts in the same place. So no matter what happens, you have rules for it. And knowing that and understanding that has really been going up higher in the mountains to see what more I can find. So, updates coming soon as always. As always, taking one step at a time to get there day by day.